Hi there, it's Sandra from Createinspain. I've got here in front of me a packet of 42 sheets of self-adhesive vinyl, premium vinyl from Arteza. Now I bought this myself, it was €19.99 for the packet and I got free shipping with Amazon. So this is 42 sheets of 12 by 12 inch, and on the back gives you some details about how to cut the vinyl, gives you a list of colours, which is rather nice, tells you how to do the transferring and things like that. There is apparently some barcode with helpful tips. You can get 20% off of another order, and although I find this quite amusing, it says American company and then it says manufactured in the People's Republic of China, but it was designed in the USA. Right, so this I think is going to be quite interesting, because when I looked at this on Amazon, and I just decided I fancied doing some vinyl projects and I didn't have any vinyl left, at least not decent vinyl. And I looked, oh dear, if the glue is anything to go by on here, it's going to take some getting into. Let's see if I can break this. And, oh god. Well, if I put that adhesive on the vinyl, we're doing well. Oh, boy, that was tough. Right. I have to put some tape over that because it's all sticky and I'm going to find that annoying. So let me just get a strip of washi tape and put over the top to stop myself sticking myself to it. Right, the reason I wanted this vinyl in particular was that it said on the blurb that it was dishwasher safe. Aha. And I thought that was rather an interesting concept, because I did do a bit of design on a mug the other day just to try it out with the cheapy vinyl that I had. And I put it through the dishwasher and it all came off, which is what I expected it to actually do, but you know, I just thought I'd try it and see. So, oh wow, got some pretty good colours in here. Yeah, some metallic gold and things. So yes, I thought I would give this a try. Now, I'm going to pick this colour because it is not a colour I would normally use. I don't know if it comes out on camera because my monitor is showing it as like a baby pink. This is a bright Barbie bubblegum type pink. So this is really not a colour that I'm likely to be using a great deal. And most of the other colours look pretty good, I think. And the good thing is that because it comes in a decent card pack, then your vinyl actually stays in decent condition and doesn't happen to be all dog-eared, which is good. So I did contact Arteza, their helpline. I was just looking on their site and their little helpline thing popped up. I thought, no, isn't that good? So I did ask them, because there is nothing on the packet about it being dishwasher safe. And I thought, have I been got? But I did ask them and they said, yes, that's right. And I said, what is the curing time for this? And they said 24 to 48 hours. So whatever you're doing, leave it 24 to 48 hours before you put it in the dishwasher. Now, I have a design which I'm going to be cutting out, a very simple word design, which I'm going to be cutting out and putting onto a plain white mug. Now this is another packet of vinyl, again made in China. I purchased this from Amazon too, but this is HTV vinyl, i.e. it's heat vinyl. So this is slightly different, whereas normal vinyl you cut from the vinyl side and then you read it out and you transfer it with another piece of transfer paper. With this stuff, the side that you are actually cutting is the other side. This is your design bit, but you cut it from the back. And it's pretty obvious which is the design bit, where that is sparkly. Oh. Now this is designed to go onto clothing and hats and whatever else you want to do, but it has to be heat set. So that is the idea with this one. However, I have come across a method of putting it onto mugs, which is supposed to mean that it doesn't come off when you put it in the dishwasher. We shall see. This stuff here, which is actually something that they use for protecting car paintwork. And the idea is that you cut this with a little border on it. So if you're doing lettering or something, you give it a mil or so extra, a shadow layer. And you put your vinyl onto this, you heat set it onto this, and then you peel off the backing and it becomes a sticker, and then you stick it on your mug. So this is a nice pale sugary pink. And we have a deeper pink, a gold, ooh lovely, mauve, yep, red, that would come in handy for Christmas time. I'm trying to see, actually in this, it's just getting a little darker. I think that's a dark silver. This one looks holographic because I can see blue and green in that, even though it's theoretically silver. And we have a brown or black, I think it's brown, a blue, ooh, a deep, deep gold, a green, and a normal silver. I'm experimenting with different forms of vinyl and different ways of applying it to a mug. I want to be able to put this through a dishwasher without thinking that everything's going to come off. Now I have two different sorts of vinyl here. I have some of the Arteza normal permanent vinyl, comes in lots of different colours. And I've chosen these particular two vinyl colours because they're definitely not my favourites, okay? And because I'm testing things, I'm going to use the stuff that I don't like first. So this is a green, a glitter HTV, so it's a heat transfer vinyl. And I want to put it on a mug. I don't have a heat press and I want to do it in the easiest way possible. And from what I have read, if I apply this vinyl here to this vinyl, which is like a car bumper type vinyl, hopefully it will be able to go through the dishwasher. So I'm going to put it on the shiny side of it, like so. Now I have to heat transfer this. Now I have seen videos where they've put it in a heat press and done it, and I know you can probably iron it on, and I did that previously, and ironing it on worked, but I thought laminator gets pretty warm, maybe that'll do the job, and it's more convenient for me. So I thought I would try putting it through the laminator and seeing if that will transfer it to the vinyl underneath. Now I've had my laminator going for about 20 minutes, so it should be well and truly hot by now. The other advantage is that it should actually heat it up evenly. So, you know, whereas if I'm pressing it with an iron, it may not be exactly even. This should do it much better, I'm hoping. It certainly comes out quite hot, so yeah. And I'm just using a piece of baking parchment as my carrier. So I'll put it through a couple of times and then I will see how well it's doing by trying to take the backing off of the white, or the colourless sticker paper I should say. It comes on a roll like this. It wasn't cheap, so if it doesn't work, it'll be a bit of a shame. But I do know someone who takes a lot of care of the cars, and maybe they'll end up with it instead of me if it doesn't do anything that I want it to do. So that is hopefully going to do the job. Now for my other piece of vinyl, this vinyl is supposed to be dishwasher safe. I contacted Arteza, I'm just going to switch this off, And what they actually said was that yes, it is dishwasher safe, because on the packet it doesn't say it. On the advertising on Amazon it did. The packet doesn't stress that it's dishwasher safe. Their own video says it's dishwasher safe, however, so I guessed it probably was. But I did say, how long do we have to cure it for? Because there's no information on the packet regarding curing if you want to wash afterwards. And I also said, what sort of dishwasher program can I put it on? And although I really didn't get too definitive an answer on that, I think you're probably best to put it on a 45 cycle or something like that. But they did say that up to 300 Fahrenheit you should be okay. Now the trouble is the water might only be, I don't know, 45, 65, but then you've got steam on top of that in the drying cycle. Okay. I'm going to try curing it in the oven at 150 degrees for 15 minutes and see what that does for it. I did an experiment before and I put this type of thing on the backing, put it on the mug, and I also put some plain Silhouette, very old Silhouette vinyl on it. So I did part in the glitter HTV and part in the old Silhouette vinyl. And the bit with the Silhouette vinyl actually stayed on, but all this bit came off. It stayed onto what is effectively a sticker that you put onto the mug, but the sticker itself was coming off of the mug, even though I had left it for 48 hours before putting it in the dishwasher. Now, proviso on that is that I did put it in on a 65-degree wash, and maybe that's just a bit too much for it to handle. I'm as yet undecided whether to put it in a cold oven and heat it to 150, or to put it in at 150 and leave it in there for 15 minutes. We'll see. Anyway, I have already cleaned the mug, but because I've been handling it, I'm going to clean it again with some isopropyl alcohol. Because if this actually is dishwasher safe, it's going to be really nice. So here is my my glitter stuff, and I should be able to peel off the transfer tape, because HTV has its own transfer tape, obviously, and that looks like it's pretty well melted into the sticker, I have to say. It looks like it is. It certainly looks like it's well into there. I don't think that is going to come off the sticker. So if the sticker actually stays on the mug, I think we'll be in business. I'm going to trim it a little bit around here. I could have done this with my cutter, obviously. I chose not to, just because I couldn't be bothered, and it's a test run and I just want to see whether it's going to work. There we are. So effectively what happens is I peel the backing off of this and I get a sticker with my glitter vinyl bonded onto it. Let me just see if I can get the backing paper off now. Here we go. Yay! There we are. And you can see how well that's been pressed into it. There's quite an impression there. So if this does not stick, it won't be for lack of trying. Okay, so let's put this one on this side. And I'm going to smooth it out from the inside to the outside to avoid air bubbles. I'm using a straight-sided mug because it does make things a lot easier when you have straight sides to make sure that things are on properly. And I'm just going to press it around the outside. I mean, it almost feels like the glitter should come off, but it doesn't. So this particular vinyl isn't a branded one. Still got some adhesive there from my last attempt by the looks of it. Okay. So it's not a branded vinyl, it's made in China. Mind you, I suspect most of them are. And, oops, tissue on there. So the ideas with this is that you have a sticker. At the end of the day, you have it on a sticker. And that is supposed to mean that you can have finer lettering and things because it's got more surface area. Obviously, if you're doing very fine lettering and it's got a small surface area, the slightest little thing can make it come off because it doesn't have a lot of area stuck down on the mug. So I will just go over this a little bit and make sure that it's well and truly stuck as far as I can. And then we'll put the other one on. I have to clean off the other side of the mug because I'm holding it again. There we go. Now yes, you can just about see the edges of that clear sticker, but if you're looking at it from a normal distance, you wouldn't see it. So let's clean the other side. Squeak, squeak. There we are. And this is a cheapy mug, it's not a special mug. I picked it up in Dompty, I think. Okay, I don't need a very large piece of this transfer stuff. This is just the sort of stuff that you buy to cover books. And I found it works perfectly well for transferring vinyl, so that's what I tend to use. There we go. No problem. So I'm going to put this one like so. And again, go from the middle to the outer edges. So that's that one. There we go. I will heat the oven up and I'm going to put it in there for 15 minutes. Now the question is, once I've done that, do I still have to cure it for 48 hours? And I put it into the oven. It's preheated to 150, not a fan oven, 150 Celsius. And I kept it in there for 15 minutes. Now I think it was too long, too hot. This one is largely on okay, but there's a little bit that isn't stuck on too well. This one here that I put on the background tape appears to be on extremely well. I don't think that's going to come off. I may be mistaken, but I think that will be on there whether it goes through a dishwasher or not. And I have put this through a dishwasher before, this sparkly stuff, and it still stayed sparkly and lovely. It didn't deteriorate in that respect. So I think this may be the way forward for things that are relatively delicate. You know, if you're going to be doing fine lines, then maybe that is the way to go. Some of this appears to be on really well, but I said, you know, there's a couple of little bits that are not on so well, so I'm not sure. 48 hours later, well actually more than 48 hours because it would have been 48 hours in the afternoon and then I waited until the following morning to put the dishwasher on. This is the one that had the really hot cure on it and actually nothing has come off. This here, there is a little bit of lift. Now I think that that is probably where either I didn't press it down that well in the first place, or because the heat cure was a little bit too hot and the vinyl bubbled very slightly. And if I'm looking at it, I can see a little bit of irregularity in the surface of the vinyl. It's not easily seen, but it's there just about. So I put this through the dishwasher on a glass washing setting. So it had, I think, a 45-degree wash. An hour and 20 minutes, I think the program was. It did go through a drying cycle, but it didn't get a high temperature wash, which the first time I put some vinyl on, I put it on my 1 hour short program, which was something like 65 degrees, and everything came off. So I haven't put it through that program again. I did at least put it through a lower temperature one, but I suspect that that's probably the most you can put it on without the adhesive coming away completely. I will rewash this one at some stage, just having taken that I've off of there, because everything else appears to be stuck on pretty well. I can put my nail up to it. It doesn't feel like it's going to lift. It feels like it's on there. Right, this one is on there really, really well. As I mentioned before, the HTV actually seems to bond with the clear bumper sticker paper which it's put onto after going through the laminating machine, which is excellent because that's really easy to do. There's no adverse effect whatsoever to putting this through the dishwasher. It is on there really, really solidly. There's no gaps around this sticker paper at all. You can barely see it. I mean, I'm pretty close to the camera. You can barely see that sticker paper. I don't think that that is a bad idea, especially if it means that your artwork is going to stay where it should do. So all in all, pretty good. I'm impressed. Right, this one I put in, and if I remember rightly, I put it in at 150, but I put it in cold and I took it out after about 10 minutes. So it would have only just got up to the 150. This is the one that I put on there completely with nothing else underneath it, and it's on there. You know, it's not lifting. I think there was a tiny amount of lift on this bit here, but that is probably because it's a very, very, very fine piece of vinyl. But it's still there. It looks perfect. Not a problem. I mean, I've got some pretty thin lines there, but you know, they're on. This is the same design which I put onto the other sticker paper again, and that's not going anywhere. None of that is going to move. It's on there. The only thing I did find was that I had a couple of little bubbles in the clear vinyl, probably where I had been putting on under the camera and it wasn't right up to my nose, so I ended up with a couple of bubbles there, probably that shouldn't have been there. And I tried bursting them with a pin, but that actually made them more visible than they were in the first place. But that sticker is not going to come off. It's well and truly on there. I don't think that will come off even after many, many washes. I think that's just stuck there. But, you know, it's on there, it's stuck, and it's doing what I wanted it to do, which is great news. Now, I did get in touch with Arteza again on their helpline, and I said, well, what dishwasher settings are we supposed to use? And they said, well, we recommend hand washing. I said, that's not what it says on the advertising, and it's not what their very own video says. And so she came back to me and she said basically that you want to put it into the dishwasher. If you're going to dishwash it, it may not last as long as it would if it was hand washed, which, yes, I guessed. But she said if you're going to put it in the dishwasher, don't put it through the drying cycle. So as I said, I used a 45-degree glass wash, which is for delicate things basically, and it came through it fine. It's not a problem, it's still on there. So maybe that is the answer, just put it on the top rack on a lower temperature wash. I would still, if I really, really wanted to have something stay on there for a very, very long time, I think I would still probably use the other bumper sticker stuff underneath it, because I really do think that is going to stay, and I don't think that's going to come off unless I really deliberately remove it. With regarding heat curing, which I also asked about, they didn't have any information on heat curing it. Basically just said, well, if your instructions for your article say to heat cure it, then to heat cure it. And you think, yeah, but I actually need the instructions for your vinyl, not for what I'm trying to do with the vinyl, well and truly. So yes, I recommend that you heat cure it, because I don't think if you don't heat cure it, I don't think it's going to stay on there. Even on a delicate wash, I don't think it's going to stay. So I would definitely recommend heat curing it, but you might have to experiment a couple of times to get the right temperature to make sure that you go as hot as you can without making the vinyl actually bubble. But there we go. Vinyl and HTV on mugs, no heat presses, and going through the dishwasher.